And we are live.
Oh, we're live. Here I am doing my techno beat. Good mythical morning, everyone. It's the one, the only Senor Silverback with my main man, El Coco, the Hispanic heartthrob himself, the master of the flux capacitor, CJ. And we are bringing you the news, the views, and all the information important to you. Yeah. You can check us out on roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at The Rogue Money and Rogue Money on Facebook. Check us out on DTube and most importantly, Steam It. We're there. We're steaming up the airwaves with our steamy articles. Everything's steamy, man. It's Steam It. So check them out. Check us out. And every single podcasting app known to humanity, whether it's Pocket Cast, iTunes, Shoutcast, Twitter, Stitcher, you name it, we're out there and we're on every single platform. So you cannot escape us because no one could break us. Here I am rhyming early in the morning and I'm grinding because I'm on dark roasting. With that being said, also check out our sponsors, myfreedomnow.us. Myfreedomnow.us. Jeez Louise, that's an RemainCalm.net. RemainCalm.net. RemainCalm.net, folks. Whether you need money to either get cryptos, start a business, whatever your fantasy is. Perhaps you want to buy a McLaren 720S. Maybe that's what you want to get. Well, myfreedomnow.us. I did it again, bro. I don't know what's wrong with me, Siege.
You can add that as a DBA, you know.
You know what? I could do that. It's RemainCalm.net. RemainCalm.net. Don't freak out. RemainCalm.net will get you the funds that you need to get yourself a McLaren 720S or some cryptocurrencies or get whatever the heck you need, a business, and buy assets, whatever you need. Also get your credit fixed. Get your credit fixed. You got a low credit score, these guys can help you out. Or if you need to surf the web anonymously because you don't like the NSA Snoopy doing a little Snoopy time on you, check them out. They got the Gold USB, and the Gold USB will make you like an Edward Snowden. And folks, let me tell you something. I'm going to make a special announcement. Special announcement. I like these special announcements, CJ. Guess what, bro?
Let's hear it.
The Silverback is complete.
Sweet.
Bum, bum, bum.
Nice.
We are ready to unleash the Silverback on planet Earth. And that's going to be, we're going to make a special announcement on it on Monday. And we're going to roll it out. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get this in the hands of a lot of people. It's super polished, and it's super awesome. So the Silverback is right around the corner. That being said, also, guys, check out, if you're worried about, you're thinking about cryptos, you don't know how to get involved in cryptos, you're kind of like intimidated by the crypto and the crypto maniacs, and you're saying, okay, man, you know what, Bitcoin, I missed that Bitcoin train because it's over damn near $11,000 right now. I missed it. What do I do? Well, don't freak out, guys. Don't freak out. Remain calm. We've created a crypto school for you. TheCryptoSchool.io. TheCryptoSchool.io. We will show you what wallets to use. We'll show you exactly how to navigate the entire cryptoverse right now. I mean, kind of like, see, remember back in the day they had those courses you send away for CDs and they teach you how to use email.
I do, yes.
Yeah, and you would spend like several thousands of dollars on it, So that's what we're doing here, folks. We will teach you the course. We'll teach you, but we'll do it guerrilla style. Okay, we do it guerrilla style in the sense that we're going to show you how to get into cryptos, how to swap cryptos, how to exchange cryptos, what exchanges to use, what wallets to use, how to move from cryptos into fiat, and vice versa. We'll show you the ropes how to do that. So it's going to be epic. So the Crypto School, one word, .io, thecryptoschool.io. Sign up. It's going to be ecstatic. I mean, you guys are going to love what's happening. Next week, we got another major announcement. On Monday, again, two big announcements on Monday. CJ, we're gonna go into detail about the Silverback. Okay, we're gonna have Mr. X on. He's gonna detail it because he's the developer who helped develop this with a litany of hackers. So the Silverback was created by hackers and named after yours truly. So it's going to be amazing. Okay, so and then of course the cryptoschool.io, we have a major person and one of our partners in the cryptoschool.io, as well as a faculty member there, and the first of many, as we continue to roll out and make this even better. So get ready for that. A lot of exciting news. And then 2018 is going to be a big year for Rogue. I'm excited, Siege. I'm excited about the cannabis products. I'm excited about, Rogue 420. I'm excited about Beyond Honey Oil. All these things that we have our hands in the pie for, and we are cooking, baby.
Yeah, it's such an exciting time, and to be able to share, to bring it to our listeners who the past year and a half need to take a look at our growth and then take that into consideration, the plans that are in place. We couldn't do without our fans who send us the messages thanking us for their help, whether it's one of the products and services that we provide, whether it's information. That's what it's all about. So
hey, Siege,
thank you to our fans for that.
I want to do something. I want to switch gears a little. I want to do something here. And this actually touched me. Okay, this is from a listener. Okay, his name is Kirk. I remember speaking to Kirk a long while ago. Okay, and he wrote my partner Frank over at Remain Calm a letter. Okay, and folks, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that absolutely humbles me. It moves me. It lets me know that we're on the right course here at Rogue Money, because we're solutions based, man. Not only are we solutions based, we try to either give it away for free or provide it in the cheapest way possible. And folks, let me tell you something. We're working on innovative technologies, and it's going to take some time. But if you bear with us, we're working on innovative technologies that will practically reduce the cost of the crypto school down to practically nothing. Okay, that's what we're working on. I can't explain how that works at this point, but we are still in development of it. But that's the whole thing. I mean, think about it. Like when we did the whole credit repair, I remember credit repair only word of mouth is what we did, and the initial cost was $10,000. Then it went down to $3,500. Now it's like now it's like $1,500, and you can break that up into payments. And if we can get it cheaper, we can try to even get it even cheaper, even less than that. So we're always either trying to give it away at the lowest price because we believe in solutions. We believe that most people should have it. They should have it in their hands. They should be empowered to do it. And most of this cost is basically paying for people and paying for their labor so they can, take their time out of their day and their efforts and their energy to go out and do this. Now, check this out. This is from a listener named Kirk. This is somebody that I've spoken to a long while ago. He said, thanks. He wanted to thank V for helping to save a considerable amount of money. That when his father passed away, it was a huge blessing to his whole family. This is Frank writing. He said he listened to talk radio and news for years, and switching to V relieved tension in his life and marriage. So thankful. He says your consultation about your dad, about his dad's death after he died, was huge. The whole family was put at ease. His mom was getting ready to work it off or something awful like that. And talk radio is so stressful. You're one of the few guys who don't stress people out. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And I get emails like that all the time. It's, yo, bro, thank you. Me and my wife, we were, stressed out. We were buying, 10 years worth of food, and we had an inflatable swimming pool that we filled with water, and we had like 23 firearms, and we're camped out in the woods, and we're waiting for the apocalypse to befall us any second in a day. Thank you. You saved our marriage. Thank you, because you put us in a proper perspective that it's not the end of the world. You exposed the hoax that is FEMA camps. It really is a giant hoax. There's no logistical financial way for that even to function. Okay. And expose this whole entire fear-based system that a lot of people in alt media are delving in. Oh my God, they're going to declare martial law. They're going to get, it's important to understand what's going on. Folks, when I say there's an economic collapse coming or global economic reset that is befalling us, it's not going to be the Mad Max effort. When Rome collapsed, life for many of the people in the quote-unquote empire continued. It just continued. Rome collapsed for those who are the power structures, but the people continue to live. When Babylon collapsed, right, and when the Medo-Persians came over and took over, right, what happened? Who paid for it? Who died? Who had to pay the ultimate price? Who suffered the most? Was those that were in power, those that were in in positions of wealth. They suffered. They fell. They went away. The rest of us, the rest of humanity, the rest of the population were fine. But the whole point that I'm trying to do is get people in the position of power, get people in the position of leverage where they can leverage precious metals, they can leverage right now cryptocurrency, which is the greatest exploit. My God, if you talk about God's gift to humanity, this is it. Decentralized, uncontrollable, and unstoppable. So, Siege, I just wanted to say that real quick, and let's get into it, brother.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Great. I have like a whole Air Force that's flying over my office right now. You know.
Yeah, let's get right into it. And it was very interesting yesterday to see all of the reaction. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with the V, but the reaction regarding, Matt Lauer and all the people, the different blame, the I don't believe it. And then I witnessed something that was kind of interesting, and it really took me back a little bit, because it was like people were like almost like blaming the fact that the administration had something to do with this, which to me is just like the ultimate stupidity, painting with such a broad brush at, well, look, we have a president that's still office and got away with this and did this. And I was like, I had to take a big pause for a moment, because I'm like, well, let's think about this. When you talk about women not coming forward to either to defend themselves or to report this information, yes, it's a tragedy that when it happens. But if you want to talk about someone who has allowed the behavior of Matt Lauer by Weinstein, that has truly been an enabler of this behavior and getting a completely free pass, let's talk about no other than Bill Clinton. How can it be that a woman would still stand by her side, who can run for the highest office in the United States, with a man who is a pedophile, is a rapist, and you continuously, allow that behavior to continue? What kind of message is that sending, B?
Oh, absolutely, man. It sends a quite the message right there, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. Bill Clinton, and the fact that nobody touched him. You see, the power structure was in play for so long on the establishment side, on the leftist side. The power structure was in play in the sense that they were feeling invincible. After all, they made the rules. They were the ones who were above the law. And now that veneer, that thin veneer, that delusion that they've had, these delusions of grandeur, these delusions of godlike invincibility, and is gone. I mean, guys like Matt Lauer, you read that whole entire story. This guy's getting paid $25 million a year. He's like dropping his pants in front of everyone. He's like giving sex toys as gifts to people in his office. He hires other people that are just like him, who are abusers, to work for him. And he gets away with this. And the funniest thing is, bro, is when he was grilling O'Reilly, when O'Reilly had that thing that happened when he left some lewd message on some woman's phone. And I apologize if you guys hear some noise outside. There's a helicopter literally buzzing right down the road from my office. It's weird. I don't know if they're doing land survey or whatnot, but I apologize. But anyway, so Lauer was going through this whole entire thing, and he's asking Bill O'Reilly, how can you do this? I mean, you are abusing your position and your power, and blah 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 blah. And this is the very same thing that Lauer himself was doing. He's a total hypocrite. So all these things are coming out and biting these idiots in the ass. These are the white knights of feminism, right? These are the white knights of feminism. We're seeing this all over the place, from Lauer to the idiots at BuzzFeed to so many people around the media establishment, Hollywood and whatnot. These guys who were the champions of women's rights, right? These champions of women's rights, and they're out there and they're saying things like, "Hey, you know what? Advocating for protection and this, that, and the other." And now it's come out that these guys are the biggest predators there is, Siege. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought we should take a moment just to discuss that a little bit, because, yesterday, basically there was not only with that information coming out, but there was a little bit of a Twitter storm by President Trump in regards to he really triggered Theresa May yesterday, with the recent terrorist activities in, was it Egypt, that there was an explosion that killed like almost 200 people. So, Trump tweeted yesterday some pictures of Islamic terror. And Theresa May goes, on the offensive, saying, you should be ashamed. You're advocating violence against Muslims now. And now, granted, the videos may have been a little bit, dated that he did send out, but I think the message was compelling today when he tweeted back to her that, listen, we're fine over here. You need to get your house in order and clean up on all the terrorist activities that you have going on there.
Absolutely correct, my man. Absolutely correct. It's funny to see that, and these, I don't know what it is about these spineless politicians, but I'll tell you right now, man, if there was some politician out there with chutzpah and not weakness and platitudes, if there was some politician out there that has the cojones, the spine, the intestinal fortitude, guys like Trump, guys like Putin, guys like Xi Jinping, the world would follow them. The world will follow them. So people have no respect for politicians, especially right now with this paradigm shift that's happening, where they don't have the courage, they don't have the wherewithal to call a spade a spade. Oh, it's an act of terror. Okay, who did it? We're not going to disclose his name, but it has nothing to do with Islam. I mean, come on. Okay, it's like that old saying, not all Muslims are terrorists, but seems like all terrorists are Muslims. Okay, I mean, think about that. Work that around your head a little bit. There's a fundamental problem in fundamentalist Islam, and Islam is a religion right now. At this stage of the game, it needs massive reformation. It needs to go through the type of reformation that we've seen within Judaism, within Christendom. It's way overdue. It's way overdue, and it's going to take those secular Islamic people, or those who are modern, those who are current thinkers, who are just not even moderates, but like even better than a moderate. It's a rational Islamic person to understand the whole entire thing of throwing people off buildings because of a sexual orientation, or cutting off somebody's head, or all these other things. It's bad. It's bad. There's a lot of things that you can't do, but there's also some good things. Lending out money without charging interest. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So that's why it's these are things that people need to do. They need to separate the pearls from the trash. And just like many world religions, there's always going to be some good aspects, and there's going to be some terrible aspects. So I'm glad that Trump is calling it a spade, bro.
Yeah, right. Because there's some major shifts occurring in Syria, V, that I think we probably need to talk about, and probably first. The fact that China is deploying, it looks like, some elite troops to Syria.
Yep. CJ, you and I have talked about this before. I've said it over a year ago as well, when this at that time it was Dragon Water, I think, one of the Chinese private military contractors, which are basically state actors who are which allows the government to operate overseas without the quote unquote official trappings of a military. According to multiple reports in the Middle East, regional sources, China plans to send elite military units to Syria to quote-unquote advise and assist the Syrian army in an attempt to root out the country's terrorist insurgency, especially Chinese Islamist foreign fighters. And we've known the Uyghurs, the Uyghurs, which are from the region in Western China, they are in and active in Syria. So this whole entire thing about, there's a Syrian civil war. Folks, there's no Syrian civil war. Okay, there's no free Syrian army. I've said this many times. The free Syrian army they're not free, and they're not Syrian. They're Chinese Uyghurs. They're Chechens. They're Uzbeks. They're Saudis. They're Jordanians. They're coming from all sorts of the Islamic world, everywhere but from Syria. So it's the biggest joke. So anyway, China began quietly sending soldiers in an advisory capacity to assist governmental forces in weapon systems, intelligence, collection, logistics, and medicine. It marks a dramatic, more public escalation in terms of Chinese operations in the region, as Beijing will reportedly send special forces to work closely with government troops, and likely in coordination with the Russians as well. That is going to be some straight-up badassery. Okay. Sources told Saudi Arabia-based newspaper New Khalij that the Chinese Ministry of Defense intends to send 2 units known as the Tigers of Siberia and the Night Tigers, both elite special operations forces, to assist the Syrian government in the fight against the jihadist insurgency. Saudi News also follows a high-level meeting last week in China between Syrian presidential advisor Buthaina Shaban and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, who praised Damascus' efforts in fighting foreign militias from the East Turkestan Islamic movement. The Muslim separatist group was funded by the ethnic Uyghurs, again, and is based in the Xinjiang province of northwest China. So this is huge turn of events from what we usually seen from China. Now, they are involved. They have boots on the ground. Why? Folks, they have a vested interest in the stability of the Middle East. They have a vested interest in the Middle East, especially in Syria, especially in Turkey, especially in Lebanon. The reason for that, folks, is because the New Silk Road, the One Belt, One Road initiative, okay, and the Maritime Silk Road have connections in the Middle East, and it's in order for the New Silk Road to survive, in order for this new multipolar world to emerge. Okay, the multipolar world that is being built out, that the deep state is trying so desperately to destroy. In order for this world to exist, they need to have a stable Middle East. You cannot have an unstable Middle East where there's wanton terrorism, where there's crazy maniac Islamics running around chopping people's heads off of regular Muslims, heads off of Christians, heads off of anybody else, destroying religious relics, and overall creating a muck. Okay, and if you look behind these crazy Wahhabist death cult, because that's what it is a crazy Wahhabist death cult, you would find the fingerprints of various Western intelligence agencies all over it. Okay, so this is very, very important, Siege, for the Chinese to do this, man. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, I think it's a great move, by Putin and China primarily. We're getting ready to cover because it looks like we're getting more confirmation that Putin, in fact, has brokered a deal between Assad and Netanyahu. So I think it will be pivotal for Netanyahu to understand that there are going to be some additional forces coming in, other peacekeepers come in, as opposed to strictly relying on Hezbollah and Iran, which has contributed to wiping out, ISIS in Syria. So yeah, this is huge. It's a great development, and let's just hope that in Syria that they can, and with Netanyahu and Putin, that they can continue to broker these peace deals to, once and for all, bring somewhat a little bit of a calming period to the Middle East.
Absolutely, Brad. Absolutely. And speaking about calming the Middle East, my man, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. Putin to cut a deal between Israel and Syria. See, you break that down real quick, man. This is important.
Yeah, we reported on this the other day, Davey, and it looks like now we're getting confirmation that in fact, this is going to happen. And what it stems from is that we probably remember that, not too long ago, that there was an actual meeting that took place where Assad went to Sochi to visit Putin, and that's when the negotiation started in terms of taking a look at Syria. Obviously understanding that there's concern, whether warranted or not warranted, from Netanyahu in regards to their sovereignty and more in particular with their borders. So now we're finding out that there is a deal that is being negotiated that apparently Netanyahu himself has agreed upon, with the fact that, listen, we are willing to draw peace with Assad, with Syria. We will do that. However, we will still continue our views on Iran and Hezbollah. So yeah, so this is huge. So they're going to basically, what looks like is being promised is that any facilities within 25 miles, that there will be given a demilitarized area in that space to ensure that they can kind of shore up the borders, that potentially could, any type of escalation that I don't think is going to happen with Hezbollah and Iran with getting to Israel. But this thing with this negotiation, it just shows the fact that you take a look at, and I don't want to shift gears and go to somewhere else, but take a look at the negotiations as things are taking place. This is huge for Putin and Netanyahu to come together on this agreement with Assad.
This is the big thing. You got somebody who's as vocal and as crazy as Benjamin Netanyahu. And Netanyahu is a cornered animal. There's nothing more dangerous than a cornered deep state politician who has nothing to lose, because they only care about themselves. He has a lot of scandals in that's within him, within his office. He has a ton of scandal under his administration, Benjamin Netanyahu. And this guy is the type of person who's every day of his life he gets up and says, every day Iran is threatening Israel on a daily basis. And it's just not true. It's just not true. It's not rational. I'm sure, there's some hurtful words and threats being thrown here and there, but Israel's not some innocent party here. Okay, so it's important. Again, I said this, these are politicians who do not serve the best interests of their country. They really don't. They really don't. Okay, so this whole thing, W broke this almost damn near almost a year ago. That's how ahead of the curve he was. This is how you know the guy is connected. He broke this about a year ago, that there's going to be a move to get Saudi Arabia along with Israel to get us in a focused war with Lebanon, specifically Hezbollah, and that they're going to try and coerce the U.S. deep state to send in U.S. ground forces to go ahead and try to do the dirty work there, which I've always said it's going to be the dumbest thing that they could ever do. It's the stupidest idea I've ever heard of. But that's not going to stop them because it's stupid. They're just going to do it because these are war hawks. These are maniacs, and this is their penchant. Their penchant is to do this. They have nothing else to do. So we are seeing, specifically within the last few days, within the last few weeks or so, that whole entire war footing that the deep state so desperately wants in the Middle East, that big, conflagration in the Middle East, we're seeing that taking apart. We're seeing that, dismantled. And we're seeing it where piece by piece, from the moves of King Salman, where now Salman is talking to Bashar al-Assad, the fact that Bashar al-Assad was in Moscow, and now we're hearing that Putin, okay, is sitting down and again yanking the chain of bringing Netanyahu to the negotiating table with Syria's Bashar al-Assad. This is great. This is great. I think it's going to be leading the entire area to a greater de-escalation, regional stability. And folks, that is why China's there. China's there to ensure that this is not going to escalate further than what it needs to, man. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's quite the contrast, when you think of, even outside of the Syria space. Take a look at Putin's relationship with Turkey. Take a look at Turkey, for example, where Turkey actually shot down, a Russian jet early. That was several months ago. However, Putin still was able to come forth to Erdogan and negotiate to understand, and take a look at the opposite approach. For example, where advocating at the UN, he shut off complete ties, any conversations at all. And Putin coming out basically saying, we're not going to do that. We'll still continue negotiating, talking with them, is because we are just hell bent on the war path. Korea.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely correct. See, the next bit of news, and this is a good one. Have no FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Have no FUD. Coinbase takes a major win over the IRS, brother. What is that all about, my man?
Yeah, so Coinbase, who in the past have been really attacked by the IRS, wanting information on all their accounts. There had been this huge legal battle between the IRS and Coinbase. So now basically what's being reported via is that Coinbase has won a partial victory battle with the IRS regarding the disclosure information. According to Coinbase, the government initially sought out records of over 500,000 users to catch tax cheats. Legal wrangling, Coinbase announced that the IRS has reduced their records request 1,000 users, a 97% reduction. Win for not only for the cryptocurrency space, but also for Coinbase as well, because this was the first government trying to step in and request information that's not warranted.
Oh man, absolutely, brother, absolutely. I mean, this is big. 97% reduction in requirements. Number one, and number two, they've reduced it to those that are high volume users. These are the guys who have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars within Coinbase itself. So this is good. It's a partial win. Coinbase started this process with more than 12 months ago, and while today's result is not the complete victory we hope for, it does represent a substantial and unprecedented victory for the industry and hundreds of thousands of customers that would have been unfairly targeted if it weren't for our action. This is good, and I'll tell you what. This is going to allow the bigger money to get that. Look, if Coinbase says, okay, we're going to hand out all of our user data to the IRS, dude, Coinbase will be out of business by tomorrow. People will pull out and they'll be gone. And Coinbase has a huge user base. They're massive. They're a massive exchange. They're like, you know what? We do this. This is suicide. We're going to be, cutting our nose to spite our face. We don't want to be doing that. We don't want to get into bed with the enemy. So whatever the exact criteria is, you got to bet that the high volume users are those who are just like, you got to have a substantial amount of cryptos, and that's only, they're going to handle records of only 14,000. That's a good thing. You got, over 500,000 users, only 14,000. That's great. That's wonderful. That's 2%, 3%, 2.5%, of what you need to hand over. So that's a good thing. The company promised that they should be required to submit the request information on the final 14,000 users. They would inform them, and they would inform the user before the actual disclosures take place. The company's legal staff is currently evaluating the order before processing. So if you're in Coinbase, let's say you got a ridiculous amounts of crypto sitting in Coinbase and you don't want any part in it, now's the time for you to move it. If you don't know how to move it, the cryptoschool.io will help you. The cryptoschool.io will help you. But if you do know how to move it, there's, you can move it into a hard wallet. You can put it into cold storage. You can do whatever the heck you want, So now's the time to do it.
Bingo.
Haley to the wait a minute. What is this? U.S. to sever all ties with North Korea, and Russia says no. What is that all about, Siege?
Well, yesterday, so with the new, and they keep ratcheting up the threat level, right? So, 2 months ago, it was that, the North tested this rocket that could apparently reach maybe Hawaii. And then yesterday's test, or the day before, altitude that this missile ever reached. And now we're confident it can hit every portion. It could hit everything in the U.S. Just the amount of fear mongering coming out of this. So yesterday there was an urgent place where Nikki Haley is pretty much demanding that every country sever all ties. That diplomacy has failed. The entire effort by the UN has failed. So now there's no other choice but to sever all ties with North Korea or towards, and obviously Russia's not going to do that. So for Haley to come forth and then also threat the fact that North Korea out, laughable on the world stage. V.
Yeah, it's you have a crazy state like North Korea. Okay, maybe if everybody was just less hostile towards them, and maybe if you do a lot of business and economics with them, maybe then that would probably be the best way to topple their government. That would probably be the best way to end their troubles. That'll probably be the best way to put an end to the DPRK. Because then you're creating an economic boom for the people that are in North Korea, and then they will look at the repressive government and want to get rid of them. Folks, you look at Vice. I think Vice or somebody else that did a program, rich kids in North Korea. Right? You look at the rich kids in North Korea. That's a huge thing. Okay, that's a huge thing, and there are wealthy people in North Korea that are doing business, that are captains of industry, this, that, and the other. Not a lot of them are happy with the party. They would fare much better without Kim Jong-un in there. Russia continue to call for the resumption of multi-party talks in North Korea. Why? Because they're pragmatic. They're looking at it from a business standpoint. They're looking at it from a money and economical standpoint, which should be the standpoint that every human being should look at everything in their life with, is from an economic standpoint. We're looking at it from the retarded standpoint. I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to explode. I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to drop a nuke on you. And that's dumb. That's stupid. It doesn't work. So these are major things, my friends. Major things, Caesar. Interesting to say the least.
Yeah, very interesting times indeed, V. So, yeah, but we'll see how it plays out, and we have a big day today at Rogue Monday. So Harley Standard Time, and then obviously 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Cuss with Gus.
Absolutely, man. Let's also real quick. I just want to let's cover one more thing. Let's just talk about Nikki Haley real quick because she's the idiot of the decade. She's the star of the clown of the clown of the hour.
I mean, for her to go in and through this urgent UN meeting and basically state we're almost kind of repeating the same rhetoric that we're going to wipe North Korea off the face of the earth and not to take any type of consideration regarding the South. The UN understands these things. They understand let's think back to the weapons of mass destruction and the war in Iraq, and it's kind of a repeat that we're witnessing with Nikki Haley going forth, and I don't think she brings a whole lot of any at all credibility to the table. V.
She's a moron. She's somebody who went to the Lindsey Graham School of International Relations. A total idiot. She should have no position anywhere near foreign diplomacy. He's a freaking moron. The Waffle House waitress who is totally and completely out of control, man. It's unreal. Anyway, that was the funny news of the day with Nikki Schmaley and all the other news around the world. With that being said, guys, again, check us out, roguemoney.net, Rogue Money on Twitter, and Rogue Money Facebook. With that being said, we're over and out. Take it away, CJ.